Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of the Las Vegas Advisor Weekly Update with Anthony and Andrew. Today is a very special guest interview where we are joined by the #1 gaming influencer on the internet today, Vegas Matt. We're here with Vegas Matt and Robert and EJ, his crew, who not everybody gets to see. So, hey guys, thanks for joining us.
How you doing?
Known as WBG.
That's correct.
Yeah.
WBG.
Let's make sure we get that. We get that right.
Yeah, either one works.
You know, it's like all these different things. W2G, right?
WG
RNG.
Jesus is another guy who's with us.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let me just go over a couple of numbers here. First of all, we were. Everyone was asking for Vegas Matt when we said we're going to start bringing in guests. Steve Sear, Richard Munchkin, and Vegas Matt, and not necessarily in that order. So we're a little bit different here. You know, I mean, they want to know Munchkin, gambling theorist, that sort of thing, but still the Vegas Matt thing rose right to the top. Here's some numbers. I just looked at these. You guys can wave me off if I'm wrong here, but this is what I saw this morning. 827,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
That is a monster. You put up a video yesterday, the day before we're shooting this. It was about the Monopoly slots. Within 24 hours, they had 366,000 views, 1,850 comments within 24 hours. And you guys didn't put me up to this, but I just had to go do it. I went and looked up Brian Christopher, and by comparison, 700,000 subscribers. I mean, you guys are the top. You're the top ones.
Really?
Just to set this up, you know, like the book on me, I've heard it so many times that I don't like influencers. Not true. You know, I mean, it's not about that. I'm impressed by the business aspect of what the influencers do. So that's something that we're going to try to concentrate on today. You know, I like the organization, the gambling knowledge they have behind them, you know, with WBG and also EJ. And let's just start with your story. I mean, so everybody knows where this all began and just kind of the chronology of your rise here.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll take that one. Thank you. Good to be here. I like the blackjack table. I'm tempted to place a bet. I don't know if they can see that. We're at a blackjack table. We should play a little.
What's the penetration here?
Oh, single, one hand, man.
Okay.
We'll book you for one hand.
Okay.
Well, so I was always in sales and real estate, and when I'm 61 now. I think I was around 40, late 40s. I kind of semi-retired in Vegas, and that was right when EJ graduated from high school, I think.
Yeah.
And he had just graduated. Matter of fact, I think he stayed with my brother for like the last month of school, and I had moved out here because we closed on our house. Was really excited to move to Vegas because of the no state income tax and all the great entertainment and just so many things I love about Vegas. And I was able to buy a house. I was talking about that earlier today. My house in Vegas for $50,000 less was double the lot size and double the square footage. Actually, you know, so that was the main reason. And then came out and just was doing my thing and met WBG. We started gambling together a lot. He taught me a lot of things. I was a very unintelligent gambler. I was leaving a lot of money on the table, you know, just not maximizing things like, you know, point multipliers and just real basic stuff that I didn't know. And I've been playing, you know, in casinos for years. I can't even imagine how many points I left on the table and so forth. And again, legend has it, because both of us, our memories are a bit foggy. EJ can chime in. But I know I had a couple of really good, big royal flush hands, and I play a lot of Ultimate X, and I was playing one night, and my memory is it was a $78,000 Delt Royal.
Wow.
And it was on a $50 bet, and a lot of multipliers, and I was just, you know, jumping up and down, and, you know, and he got a camera out and started filming it, and then we went to dinner, and he said, you know, we should post this on TikTok, and posted it on TikTok, came up with the name Vegas Matt as the username, and didn't think much of it. After dinner was over, and I think it had 80,000 views, and we said, "Wow, what if? I mean, we gamble every day anyway. What if we did this?"
When was this?
Again,
Thereabouts. I mean,
August 2021 is where I ballpark it, but I went back and looked at it the other day. It might have been a little bit earlier than that.
So you guys stuck one up on TikTok.
Yeah.
And just on a lark.
Pretty much.
And you banged 75, 80,000 views right off the bat.
Yeah. That was kind of what was happening back then, though, with TikTok. Like, people were just getting views. And so I figured, let's try. And then it worked. A few hours, 80,000 views, and it was sort of a light bulb moment, and we just ran with it from there.
You just picked it up immediately and said, "Okay, man, let's do this again." Well, how you going to do that? You're not going to hit another $78,000 royal,
Right.
So I mean, where does the pivot come? And I don't mean to interrupt you, but that's kind of what it leads to.
I mean, we laugh sometimes. Like we'll be playing, and we'll get dealt 3 aces, and
Yeah.
and we'll be like, because in the old days, like if we had anything that looked like any kind of a hand, we'd be like, oh wait, TikTok,
Yeah.
and then we would say like TikTok, and he'd film it, and we didn't have a tripod or anything, and then I know we started streaming on Twitch, like live streaming, and we had fun. We liked that platform. We still like that platform, and we got a great moderator, a guy named Train, and at some point it was suggested to us, I believe, that YouTube was the place to focus. Like those stats that you mentioned at the beginning were all just YouTube.
YouTube
we have
stats,
like, I think we have 3 million total subscribers on all platforms together.
Wow.
But the main focus is YouTube. So our long form YouTube, it got to the point where, how many days in a row now have you posted a YouTube at exactly?
I'd like to know exactly. I think it's a little bit over a year and a half, maybe. What do you think?
It's hard to look back. I've tried to look back.
because you can't see like
It doesn't have the dates.
It just says 6 months ago or a year ago. It doesn't. So
And we don't have enough time to count every day.
yeah.
But
no.
we post 11:45 a.m. Pacific every single day on YouTube, and within seconds, we have tons of likes and comments, and we have a very, very loyal audience on YouTube. And then we make shorts that we post on YouTube as well as TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and so forth.
But so many people have had this idea, and they've had maybe some early good results. How did you stick with it? I mean, it was because it was so meteoric. I mean, it looks like boom. I mean, again, I looked at some stats before coming in here, and I watched the Howie Mandel interview with you, which was not very impressive. But anyway, I looked at your stats then. That was in June. You had 500,000 subscribers. Now you're up to 800,000 in less than 6 months.
Yeah.
I mean, this is ridiculous scaling that you're doing. It's incredible.
Well, I mean, these two get most of the credit. I mean, I just do the on-camera stuff, which to me is easy because all I got to do is talk, and I've always been fairly good at that.
Mick Jagger, man.
They do a lot of work. I mean, it's a lot more work than people realize. I think it's just like anything else. Whether you're a real estate agent, whether you're in any business, it doesn't matter. You got to be consistent, and you got to work, and you've got to overcome challenges. I mean, we had some challenges along the way. One of the things with being a gambling influencer is people don't realize how much money you can lose.
Oh, sure.
And if you before there like, what does it take to get a channel monetized, DJ? Like how many?
I don't remember now, but I mean, we had a hurdle of getting monetized. You have to get a certain amount of views and watch time. It
was like 5,000.
You would know,
wasn't
right?
it?
Yeah, it's. I think you have to have 3,000 hours of watch time within a certain period of time.
1,000 subscribers.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
And
yeah.
they have a kind of a monetization light program and then a full monetization program. But it takes effort.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not impossible. I encourage anybody who's interested in it to try because it's not that difficult to get monetized. It's just it's difficult to scale.
But if you lose $150,000 or something, and you're still not even monetized, it can get disheartening. And the biggest reason that people fail in anything is because they quit. And quitting was, not anything we even considered. And again, we had a little advantage because we were gambling all the time anyway.
So you were playing at those kind of levels that you play now right from the start?
I think
Similar,
probably
little less.
on slots a little less, but he was playing 50 cent or dollar Ultimate X10 play already.
I'll give you a big edge right there because a lot of people try to do it. They don't have a bankroll.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you had a
definitely.
bankroll. You were able to play at those levels.
Right.
Maybe a little bit of right place, right time. Obviously, your personality. That has something to do with it. You keep putting yourself down, but obviously that has a lot to do with it as well.
Yeah, there's the dynamic of, it's also just like not all about me, the dynamic between a father and a son. So you got to, I'm a young baby boomer. I think baby boomers were 46 to 64. I was born in 63. So I'm at the tail end of the baby boomers. EJ is my son who's 30. So you're a millennial or whatever that is.
Millennial, I believe, yeah.
And then so the dynamic of, so he's kind of the youthful, and then the banter back and forth between father and son. You've got we're world's biggest gambler, smart guy, kind of in between
Hence
us.
WBG, world's biggest gambler.
That's,
Okay.
that's what that's.
I don't know how that ever came about. Was it best? Was it biggest? It was. He just started calling me that, so it stuck.
That's a big
Matt,
mantle,
Matt
man.
is a person who likes to. He edifies people. He likes to put. He elevates his friends. So
That's a cool nickname.
Yeah, so it's kind of stuck.
It works. It works. It works for the brand.
Yeah, so the dynamic between the three of us is different, and then W2 Jesus is with us a lot. We've got other characters that pop in from time to time, like Lucky Rob, our British friend, who is just the luckiest guy on slots ever. And so it just became, it evolved into kind of like a show. And I think timing-wise, we were 8 years late to the party. Like when we first started, Brian Christopher and Lady Luck and Big Jackpot and them have all been around for a long time. But I think so we came in and we did something different. I think we were amongst the first to really show our losses, not just highlight wins. Like we filmed full sessions, and it was kind of the highs and lows of gambling, and it just kind of took a different approach and connected with the audience, and then didn't abuse the audience. That was a really smart move on EJ's part. Like we never asked for, okay, let's have some super chats and lucky stars, and all. We never ask for any of that stuff. All we ask is that people watch, and when we try to give them value, and that must have resonated, and we started to grow and grow and grow, and then I don't know, maybe 6 months, a year or so ago, as far as views went, we had passed everyone in a reasonably short period of time.
Okay, let's move to the business model and the business part of it. And to start with that, I get different definitions from different people. By your definition, as an influencer, what is an influencer? What are you doing that influences?
Well, no one's entirely worthless. You can always serve as a bad example. We're showing people, don't gamble. You're going to lose.
You're an influencer yourself, right?
They keep saying that. I don't.
Well, I think that's just kind of an industry term. If you put your content on social media, that's the catchphrase for what everybody does. Everybody's an influencer, but.
So you don't go in there, I guess what I'm asking is you don't go in there with a goal, with an objective, saying we are going to influence you to play more, play less, play here, play that.
No, we
it's
want
just
people.
You're going to do what you do, and that's going to move them one way or another.
Yeah.
I think kind of our secret is we were going to gamble anyway. We're just documenting our gambling, and if people enjoy watching that and listening to us, then they get that experience.
Yeah.
But
Well, they do. It's high energy, and you guys, I think, have a lot of fun on camera, and that's fun for us, the viewer, to watch you having so much fun, regardless of whether you're losing. I've seen you guys lose a lot of money and go, oh my God, and it's still fun.
Kind of got to be funny. I think that the influencer is just a term, right? Yes, we have influence. On things. Gosh, if we talk about hot sauce, and what kind of hot sauce we like, and we get 20 cases of hot sauce sent to us from people,
Oh, that's strong.
I
like hot sauce.
I like hot sauce.
I was having breakfast today in a restaurant that I had mentioned one time that I enjoy having breakfast at as a local here in town, and the lady that manages the place says, "Oh my gosh, so many people come in here because they say they heard about it on your show." So there's influence in that regard, but I think it's just it's kind of like the social media and the YouTube thing these days is kind of like television in the past. So would you have called a person who's on a TV show an influencer? It seems like it's very similar because people don't watch TV. Like I never watch TV. I always watch my phone, and I think that a lot of people don't even have cable anymore. When I'm subjected to watching television with like commercials that you can't skip, it's torture. 6 or 7 minutes, and you watch a bunch of commercials for pharmaceuticals, and it's like I would much rather watch YouTube or TikTok or Instagram Reels or whatever else, and I think that it's similar. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. It does very much. And this is a big question right here for me. And it's not for Andrew. Andrew gets it. He knows why people watch what you do. I can't figure out why people watch. I'm sorry. No, no offense.
Sure.
I can't figure it out.
No offense.
And I will say this. I was surprisingly engaged by a few when I was looking at yours for a while. And I had a hard time sustaining it. And maybe it's because of what I do. I don't know. But why do you guys think that people are riveted by this? Or what's going on?
Well, I mean, that's a valid point. I mean, after all, we're just gambling. I mean, what's on the screen is gambling. You're betting. You're either going to win or you're going to lose. So it's definitely the banter between us and the dynamic. And what we hear all the time is, we watch you every day. I feel like I know you. And it's almost like watching a reality show of this guy who's in Vegas who gambles big every single day, with his son and his friend, and that people are just like, how do you do this? Like,
Because they want to.
I mean, I think they all like, our audience definitely is all people who, or not all, but predominantly people who like gambling, certainly.
Yeah, they like it. They don't all gamble though. I mean, there are plenty of comments that I read that people say, I don't gamble, but I enjoy watching gambling, and I certainly enjoy watching you guys gamble.
You guys think it's a substitute for people?
For some, for sure,
they say,
for some,
"Look,
for sure.
Definitely
can't get
say
out
that, yeah.
People say, like, I quit gambling, but I enjoy watching you.
Oh, wow.
Get my gambling fix on from watching you. So I think there might be a degree of that.
It's voyeuristic. You can, and also for someone like me, like if I go to the casino, I'm going with like $250 to $500, and
Right.
if I lose $250, I go, ugh, do I really want to spend my next $250? But I can sit there and watch you guys play over $1,000 a spin and have a lot of fun watching.
See, like he
Thank
gets
you.
it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this is in the beginning. I was making a joke.
Yeah.
We brought up. You guys seen Zoolander, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we love that.
All right, so we're
All the
talking.
time.
Did you see? I don't know if you saw that show, but somebody brought up Vegas Matt, and I said, he goes, he's hot now.
He's so hot
And I
right
go,
now.
oh, he's so hot right now.
Yeah.
Remember Hansel?
Hansel,
You know,
yeah.
that
Like
whole
Hansel.
thing?
That's kind of a running thing on our show.
Oh, is that right?
About
I didn't-
Zoolander,
Finally,
yeah.
I tried to make him watch it for like 6 months, and he finally watched it, but he wasn't really paying attention. He watched it on a plane while he
Funny
was
movie.
reading
It
comments.
has the best ending of any movie I've ever seen.
It's a funny
The
movie.
ending is the best.
Yeah, you mean because it was
It's
over?
Yeah, he
I mean,
didn't like
maybe.
it.
Yeah, it's a great movie. I like your taste in films.
Oh, that's funny because that was it, and I made a joke. I said, "Who's Vegas Matt?" And I mean that was bad, but I was kidding. And I said, "Oh, I know who he is," and I did. I wasn't just saying that, but I never thought we would get to this. And Andrew was like, "No," he goes, "This is great." He goes, "I watch them; they're great. They're fun. People watch them; they're fun." So that's why you're here.
The same thing could be said about power washing. Like, have you ever seen a video of somebody who's power washing a driveway?
And not a video, but I've seen people do it. Yeah.
Well, people do it, and
there's a channel.
there's huge
really?
channels
Yeah.
of people who power wash
Mow
driveways and mow lawns.
Hey, write that
And
down.
it's like, who would watch that? But it's fascinating. I don't know. I watch it.
I've seen it. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And there's one guy, and he goes to people's
Yeah, he's
homes
great.
and he cleans their lawn, and it's the
Right.
music plus the ch-ch-ch-ch. and
Right.
The way he edits it, it's good. It's like people like seeing the transformation. I mean,
Yeah.
I love watching videos of these crazy people swimming with sharks, and that always comes up in my feed.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you swim with these sharks? It's like, it's interesting. I think the whole appetite, for viewing with these algorithms and TikTok and all the different companies have their algorithm, and they know you, they show you what you want, and it's so interesting that it feels like I could just sit there and scroll for hours watching stuff.
I think your resistance is probably because of your background in gambling. So gambling in particular, you're like, oh, why would anybody watch gambling? Because you've been a gambler.
Right. Perhaps.
So you probably have some internal
I
resistance.
look
to
at it a little bit going, what are they learning? But it's not about learning, is it?
It's
It's
an
about
experience.
fun, isn't it?
Yeah. There's a win, there's
I'm
a
a
loss.
funless
there's
person. That's
yeah.
what it boils down
Yeah.
to.
So, I mean, sometimes it turns into somewhat of a comedy show. I mean,
Yeah.
like I had aspirations when I was younger to be a comedian. It's so fun if I make WBG laugh or W2 Jesus laugh. It's very difficult to make EJ laugh. But when we start laughing and we're just having fun. There was one time, one of the funniest things ever was there was a slot machine and there was a green door, or something like that. You had to open up, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what's behind the green door. I'm like, you remember that movie? And then WBG is like, oh boy, where's this going to go?
Oh, yeah.
And then I go, EJ, did you ever see that movie? And he's like, yeah, I think I saw it with you. And I'm like, wait a minute, no, you didn't.
Good parents.
I mean, it was hysterical. Like, people are always. I read a comment today. I don't know what it was from yesterday, that they're like, I was having a drink like I always do while I'm watching. I spit out my drink. I laughed so hard. So I think I mean, a lot of our audience, I think, watches us instead of watching Wheel of Fortune. Why is Wheel of Fortune interesting? You're spinning a thing and you get, it's to me it seems idiotic, but it's a show that's been running now since Merv Griffin started it. 45 years ago or something crazy?
Hangman. It's Hangman.
Yeah, I mean it's like Wheel of Fortune. So our show is like Wheel of Misfortune.
Yeah, well, people like to see people fail, and they like to see them succeed. So
Yeah.
I guess you do both.
I mean it works. I mean usually it's 50-50 any given day.
Okay, let's talk about the model. All right, so you guys have been, everything I can see, you guys have been very upfront about how it works. And, we'll talk about some numbers or not, but embellish on this. I mean, the way I see it, you lose at gambling, you make it up, and more so, and profit from platform payments and ads and your merchandise and things along those lines. That's pretty much it in a nutshell, right?
That's exactly right.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I mean, the losses, the gambling losses are simply, well, you know what? When we were talking before, I was asking you about writing off the gambling losses. And you guys were like, no, we can't do that. Which,
Yeah, today people always ask, I'm not a tax advisor and I can't give tax advice and I'm not comfortable doing so, but we don't believe that you can write off losses from gambling against active income that you make on YouTube. You can write off losses of gambling against, like if you get a bunch of W2Gs, you had 20,000 in jackpots, but you had 25,000 in losses. You don't have to pay taxes on the 20,000 because you had a net loss.
Right.
But you can't say, oh, I'm going to write that off against my income. Now, there are some who do it, and at some point I think it'll be challenged, and then maybe if they do decide that, oh, if you're videoing while you're gambling and you lose, you can write it off against your active income. I would take the under on how that works out for them.
well, we wrote this before we ever talked to you guys. We wrote this in the Las Vegas Advisor. We were writing about influencers.
Mm-hmm.
And we wrote, the economics of influencing make it so the losses are simply, quote, a cost of doing business. Right? The losses are a cost of doing business for you in generating greater returns from casino sponsorships and rebates, advertising, branding deals, merchandise sales, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, in my mind, you guys should be able to write off every penny of your net loss. But I mean, again, we're not going to adjudicate that here. But it really does work that way, right? I mean, let's leave the tax implications out of it. You have to lose money because you're playing a negative expectation game.
Yeah, I don't think the IRS handles gambling the same way they do if you were to buy an iPhone for your business. I don't think you can just say, I lost $5,000 while I was making a video, so now I can write that off.
But that's how I make my
It's a
money.
production cost.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, listen. That would. There's going to be a lot more people on YouTube videoing their slot machine play if that's true.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that to be the case.
I don't
I'd
think
like
it's
to
the
know.
case. And the good news is, I mean, we've lost a couple $100,000. We keep good records, but it's nothing that keeps us from having a very nice net profitable business.
Yeah. Well, Brian Christopher came clean with Wall Street Journal last year. And he said, well, I know how clean he came, but he said he lost $360,000 the previous year. You guys are, from what I've taught you, you're in that area. You're that area, right? I mean, between 3 and 4.
I mean, I think it was like
270 or so?
270 as of yesterday.
They
So.
yesterday about 270 in the last 18 months.
Yeah, that's what people want to know. So that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
but it's amazing because you can cover that. I mean, with ease, right? With the stuff you do.
Yeah.
So tell us about your merchandise. I know you guys love the merch.
Well, we have our Christmas merch on.
Just hit the shop.
We just got the Get Even or Get Even Worse. One of WBG's.
That's
sayings.
hilarious.
Yeah, it's good, right?
Yeah.
Explain that. I know what it is, but explain where that saying comes from.
You want to explain it?
Go
It's
ahead.
your saying.
Well, yeah, but all right. So,
I think, well,
It's
yeah,
trying to catch
No,
up.
you're better
right?
at
It's
this.
like semi-tilt.
yeah,
and trying to
exactly.
catch
You
up.
lose playing some slots, you go make a bet. You're either going to get even or you're going to get even worse.
Because you go make a single bet somewhere
one
else.
like on
single
table
bet on a
games.
table game like Baccarat or Blackjack.
So if you have a session when you're down,
Down
Yes.
5,000, go play a $5,000 hand. Get Even or Get Even Worse.
we do it all the time, and it's
it's
very
fun.
fun.
all right, what do you do if you're down 2,000 on a blackjack? On a slot session. You go to a blackjack table. You bet the $2,000, and you get an 11 against a
You double.
9.
Double. Yeah, always.
double it?
down,
And so you either get in profit or you get really worse.
Okay.
And every imaginable scenario has played out.
Yeah, but that's happened.
Remember we were putting like 10,000 a hand or something, and we had to double it, or 7,000
Oh
a
yeah,
hand, or
7,800 or something,
yeah,
and we had a double, and
and we
we lost.
Yeah, so
Oh, no.
that was brutal.
that was
Red
a
Rock,
14.
right?
Yeah. Peppermill? I think it happened twice. We lost the double.
Okay.
We won it once, lost it.
Peppermill Reno?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go there a lot. Great-
Feel a
great place.
little of my
fun.
pain on losing on those big double downs. Yeah.
the worst.
What that's all about.
Still have to do it.
Yeah, you have to do it, right?
course.
You have to do it.
Well, I want to know because you guys, you probably get casino comps and things for the amount of
course.
play that you get. So if you lose a bunch of money, where do you go enjoy a nice meal? Where do
Well,
you
hold
get?
on, no. Before we do that, let me interject this. On the comp thing, I think you guys made it clear to me when we were talking that you don't really make deals per se with the casinos, like show up money or rebates from them. Is that correct? You're
Well,
making your
we
money
do what
off
we
the-
can, but that's not the driving force. I mean,
No.
we get free play commensurate to our play. We don't have any like Don Johnson type deals where we're getting 20% back on our losses. I mean,
Right.
more casinos are getting better at offering things like that, but we haven't really worked on any big deals like that.
But the truth is, though, you get the true blue perks, right? I
Yeah.
mean the comps
Related
You get
to your gambling, yeah.
They will give you the comps. So that's what I was going to say too. What you asked, like,
Yeah.
Tell how good are they? They must be great.
It's bordering on against my religion to pay for a meal. I'll put it that way. I
I'll
mean,
answer.
Yeah, I
Love the
mean,
answer.
you know, I've gotten a lot of massages in the last year.
Okay.
The spas are at some of these places are amazing. Friends come into town. It's not difficult to get a hotel room. You know, it's the perks
Sporting
are
events.
UFC fights, Raider games, night tickets in the Wynn bunker. I mean, there's there's countless stuff.
You're
that
on the
you
high
get.
level for comps.
Yeah.
Very high level. Okay, and that's a big part of the pie.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
I mean, I
sure.
think with it, I would even argue that possibly we've gotten enough comps that it makes the money we've lost not even really sting that much.
Yeah, I would
Assuming
agree.
you're willing to pay retail.
Assuming
for
I was
those.
willing to pay retail
Which-
to go to the Super Bowl, we got Super
Right.
Bowl tickets. You know,
Yeah.
that was probably our best comp ever.
F1.
F1.
Right.
Those are
We've been to
expensive
the last
tickets.
3 UFC fights.
Sure.
You know, the best seats in the house.
Wow. Okay.
So-
Cool. All right. So
Well, that's pretty cool because we talk about that stuff like on a smaller level. We say,
Right.
listen, if you get down 40 or $50, you can get up 4 or 5 free drinks and call it even.
Yes,
you
I
know,
mean,
and you
it-
can't do that at Native American casinos where you got to, or casinos outside of Vegas where you got to pay for your drinks
Right.
and your gamble.
And certainly if you're willing to pay for it, it has cash value to you.
Yeah.
which is the way it should be looked at.
Yeah,
If
well,
this
I
is
mean,
something you're going to pay for. I mean, I'll go to a corner bar, and if I throw in $20, I know my expected loss is 19 cents, and I get a beer and lose a 20. I just won. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I don't know if anybody here would pay $7,000 or $8,000 for F1 tickets, but I mean, I would pay something for them for sure.
Cool.
One of our commandments is don't drink and gamble, though. So like you'll never catch us drinking and gambling, well, at least on
Not-
on
yeah, not
on camera.
Come on now.
Because you might not hit that button straight. I don't understand.
I just think I find I get completely wrecked if I drink and gamble. Like I make bad decisions. I all of a sudden think, oh, what's another $5,000 marker? You know.
Well, that's what you got these guys here for, though,
Oh,
right? Yeah.
I mean, if I never gambled off camera, I would be way better off.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, you know what? Sometimes I watch the Beer Fridays, and I go, I think I'm so slick when I have some beers. Well, maybe I shouldn't be doing that. So, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Beer Fridays aren't always so good for me.
There's a reason they give free drinks in the casinos.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
impairs your judgment.
Potentially, maybe the bane of your existence. I don't know how much you want to talk about this, but tipping's got to come into it. That's got to be a problem
yeah.
with all the hand pays you get and everybody standing around
We're
going,
happy
give me
to
some
tip.
I
money."
wouldn't say it's a problem, but we've probably over the last 2.5 years tipped
20,000?
50,000.
50.
Yeah, a lot.
You know,
Tens of thousands.
tens
for
of
sure.
thousands of dollars.
Every
Valets.
every water, $5 to $20. You know, and we always just get a round of waters or Perrier's or sugar-free Red Bulls. So cocktail waitresses $5 to $20 a couple times every session. Every single hand pay. You know, even if you're what sucks, and people are. It's such a hot topic. If someone says, "Oh, you didn't even tip" or whatever because they didn't see it on camera, but you know, someone comes and gives us hand pay, and we're stuck $8,000, and we get a $1,210 hand pay. We're now down $6,800, and they're like, "Oh, you should tip $300." We always just tip like $20 when someone brings us like a modest hand pay, and if it's a bigger hand pay, we'll give them $100.
Yeah.
And that adds up. I mean, it takes percentages. You're a math guy. I mean, yeah, we tip an extraordinary large amount because we're
Pressure on
gambling
you.
every single day.
Well, plus you're also a known figure.
Yeah,
So
you
there's
want them to be
pressure
happy
on you.
we're there for sure.
Yeah.
And we're working in their workspace as well, so we have to be generous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some would argue, we are or aren't generous, but it is, I think you and I sat down and figured it out one time. It's over $50,000 a year in tips.
Wow.
I never thought about it.
It's
I
incredible.
mean, I know it's a big number, but I never
Yeah,
tried
so
to
think about that. It's like,
calculate
oh, you're cheap, you don't tip. Well, I tipped $50,000 this year. How much did you tip?
Right. No, you guys are the economic engine that runs the casinos.
Yeah. Well, hopefully there'll be no tips on, or no taxes on tips moving forward. It's a big
Yeah.
topic.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Tipping is a big topic on social media, like on gambling Twitter and things like that.
People don't understand the dilemma you just put forth. That I can't tip you crazy because I just hit something big when I'm still stuck twice as what I just made.
That's right.
Right.
You know,
I would just love to put them. It's funny because there's some of the comments, like we collectively, mostly WBG, we read every single comment, thousands of them a day.
Wow.
And interact and really interact with the audience. And I take some of the comments very personally. Like, some people say mean, dumb things, and I'd like to see the person who said, "Oh, you cheap, you tipped $20." It's like, okay, I'd love you to come to Vegas, be down $8,000, hit a $1,200 hand pay that interrupts your momentum, that takes 15 minutes to get to you, and I want to see how much you tip.
Well, they just don't see the whole picture. They don't
Yeah.
see that you're tipping the cashier, the waitress.
He's the nice one. That's why they don't want me to make too many comments on that.
Yeah.
'Cause he's like, don't say that. Don't just ignore them.
Because they don't see it. So I mean, you can't really get mad at somebody for not knowing what they don't see.
it's funny. I was going to ask you later, or maybe just touch on it now. Haters and trolls. I mean, you must deal with it all the time.
We
Not
have
really.
less than
We
you
have
would
very,
expect.
very, very, very few. Someone did once say I had a turkey neck, and I really got offended. But,
Gobble,
it
gobble.
was motivating because I've lost 50 pounds, So
Ah,
That's right. You've lost some weight.
We have the greatest audience.
our audience-
The greatest.
a lot of people are saying the best audience.
They should.
And I mean, if you look at our comments, 99.9% love, which is awesome. Because I mean, that's what we're all about. I mean, we don't hate on anyone. We're just there. It's a break from the madness that is the world, and we're just a couple of guys, couple of doofuses, whatever, gambling. We're not claiming to be cool or anything else. We're just regular people, and it resonates, and we get very, very little hate. Some people are just mad at the world and they want to just lash out at somebody.
What you're saying that you always say about the who you attract?
Oh, your vibe attracts your tribe?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have a very nice tribe. Like, we do these cruises, and the first cruise that we did, I was concerned. What if it's just a bunch of misfits and weirdos and, like people with bad breath that want to tell me secrets?
You're stuck on a boat.
And it's like, however, it was unbelievable. It
So
was the
nice.
coolest group of people. They were all like old friends, and they were just people I would be friends with. Like, our vibe has attracted the tribe. There was maybe one person on the first cruise that was a little bit problematic.
He
let's
wasn't
say.
that bad.
I see what you did there. And and
is a
then
nice
on
guy.
the second cruise, everyone was wonderful. There was not even a single ripple of an issue. Like, everyone got along. Everyone was nice. It was unbelievable. So in general, yeah, we have a really great audience, and the comments
sure.
I read some stuff and I just want to lash out and say, you idiot, you have no idea what you're talking about, and who are you to say that to me? And then he either would delete the comment or tell me not to say it, and so I usually don't respond then, because
Yeah.
you don't want to feed the trolls or whatever they say.
Yeah, you got a good. You got a good team. They look after you in all these different
Oh
ways.
God, you have no idea.
Well, this is what's also interesting. Andrew and I were talking about it. Is that what you're doing seems kind of, I don't know, in the superfluous. You're just out there doing stuff, but you've got knowledge behind you. You got a good team, a good group of guys who know business, who know gambling, and that maybe makes a difference.
Yeah, but
you know?
we're kind of learning as we go too. I mean, I don't think we know. I don't think we think that we know it all or really know much of anything. But we just get up every day and try to do better than we did the day before.
That's great. Well, also the video content is really good. It's well shot. It's well produced.
That's this guy.
Yeah.
Well,
He has a really good eye.
It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Little Steven Spielberg over here.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it is. I mean, sometimes I watch some of these and I'm like, this is just really unwatchable. I think that's a bad angle. I can't see what the denom is. I mean,
Yeah.
did you ever give any consideration to the viewer experience?
We get on our show. We do a weekly jackpot of the week, and sometimes we get some videos, and we go, "What is this guy filming?" Right? He's not even showing the denom, or it's there is an art to filming.
Yeah.
the
You have to
games.
know what the relevant information is that people need to see. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I mean, when you're playing Dragon Link and you get the bonus, you got to tilt the camera up to see it all count up. And I mean,
So many people don't do that.
He's so on top of it. It's unbelievable. He's done a great job.
All right, I think we've covered this probably already, and just ancillarily going around it. Is the gambling? We've said it already, but is the gambling real or fake? I mean, we know it's real, right? I mean,
Yes.
that's it. I mean, you guys are playing. We've talked to this,
It's real.
yeah.
It's one of my favorite troll questions, like, "Oh, it's fake money. This is staged," and I'm like, how
You're in your
how would we
basement.
do that? Like we're sitting there, and on the felt it says like El Cortez, or it says whatever the casino is that we're playing at, or we're clearly in a casino. And I mean, you could look at the carpet, or something in the identifying marks if you really thought we were trying to fake people out. And there is no casino, and that I've found, and if there is, I'd love to talk to them that will give us free money. I mean, it's I was just texting one of my hosts, and he graciously gonna give me $500 of free play. I come in last time I was there, I think I lost $15,000. It's definitely real money, and there's not a single fake thing. I would give anyone $1 million if they, could prove anything was fake. Like we are gambling in real casinos with real money that we put in. I have a shirt that says I spend half my time feeding hundreds into machines and the other half waiting for hand pays. And
That's hilarious.
I mean, just yesterday we were down 50 grand or in 50 grand.
This won't come out to that. Yeah, we were
No.
down 50, in 50 at one point.
We were in 50, and literally, we're feeding hundreds into 3 different machines, all of us like this, and it's a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Real hundreds. I miss those hundreds.
Yeah.
Like I'd go there with a full pocket sometimes and come out with an empty pocket. It is painful. Real $100 bills.
If you haven't seen it, you're going to want to see what happens.
All right, good. We'll check it.
Well,
So,
that happens a lot. Sorry, the psychology of gambling, I always find that so interesting. And Anthony reminds me all the time, if you hit a big one, that's your money. It's all your
Yeah.
money. And a lot of times you'll hit a big one, and that's when you keep playing and you keep going. And you go, all right, well, let's see if I'm hot. And it's very possible to win a lot of money and then not leave the casino with anything.
You talk about that all
You
the
give
time.
it back.
There's no such thing as house money.
No, when it's on if blackjack's an easy example. When you win a hand of blackjack and it's on your side of the felt, on your side of the table, that's your money. It's not house money.
people need to understand that.
Yeah, if you're winning, it's not their money that you have. It's your money. It's now yours.
I heard a bartender the other day take it one step farther. He goes, "It's not my money." We were having this conversation. He goes, "Nope, it's not my money until I deposit it in my bank account." I'm like, "That's not the right way to look at it." He
it's
goes, "That's how I
definitely
look
not
at
the-
it."
Yeah, no, it's when it's in your stack, it's your money, and treat it as such.
Agreed.
He's been good from keeping me from going on tilt, so if you have a big loss, it's just like book the loss, calm down, regroup, and then just get back to normal. Tomorrow's another day, as opposed to trying to win it back. Like, can you explain that thing you explained about it's impossible to win it back once it's gone?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you lose money, you can't win that money back. You can win other money, but it's not that money. It's that money's gone, and you have to just mentally book the win or book the loss and start over. Because sometimes Matt will be like, "Oh, we're down. We'll start a session, and we will have lost earlier in the day." And I'll be like, "Well, we're already down 2,000." You can't really look at it. You have to look at it as an individual event.
Yeah, well, one of the hardest. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish.
Well, I was gonna say I have a background in poker, and it always helped me. I kept meticulous records. I would record my win or loss, and I would start over. I would start the next session at 0, and it always helped me mentally to be at an even keel.
I
And
was going to say,
that's
one of the hardest things to do to be a winning gambler, a professional gambler, making money at it, is to think of it as one long session, one complete,
Yes.
one long session. And if too many people worry about what happens today, what happened in the last hour, what happened
Right.
when I go to bed. No. All you did was go and get a drink, whatever. It's the same thing. You're going to pick it up tomorrow. If you have an edge, you'll end up winning.
Yeah, I would tell my winning poker friends, just zoom out, look back, look at your chart. You've been playing for 2 years. Is the chart going up and to the right? Then good. Then you're doing the right thing. Don't worry about this hand or this hour or this session.
I love listening to those guys. They're like, "Yeah, this guy went all in with this,
Right.
and man, if it only wasn't for this river, it's like, would you just shut up?"
Poker bad beats. Oh no.
The bad beat stories crack me up. Every poker room, you hear them, and it's like, that's what you signed up for.
That's the game.
It happens.
Yeah, but the truth is, with slots and casino gambling, you are going to lose long term.
Yeah.
And just know that you're going to lose long term.
Perfect segue, man.
Yeah.
You just pushed me right into the next
Well,
one. And,
happy to do it.
Look at you, WBG.
Basically, your ethics. I mean, you guys, I like you. I mean, it's like I see you guys seem to be extremely transparent
Yeah.
about everything. And I remember I mean, a long time ago, I did a documentary, and somebody asked me something about it, and I go, I have a real fear that when I publish a gambling book, that even though it's correct, that I'm leading lambs to slaughter, that I'm, Pied Pipering people that are not going to be able to do it right. What are your feelings on that? I mean, what are your ethics on this, and do you have any worries about that somebody's going to get in trouble? You can't govern everybody, but I mean, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I often do like responsible gaming messages, and and tell people like this is a losing proposition, and kids don't do this, whatever. I mean, maybe
We try to stress it as much as possible. You're gonna lose and gamble with money that you can afford to lose or is for fun.
Yeah, it's got to be recreational.
Recreational only.
but yet there are people that have problems with gambling, and I'm not going to take the blame for it. But I mean, we're just one of many people that gamble, and I mean, if someone's going to be held accountable for that, then make gambling illegal and don't allow a casino now in every city in the world. It seems. Another point to a question you asked a long time ago, because like let's say you're someone watching this and you want to start a channel. I mentioned consistency, quality, the being able to withstand, budgetary, do it long enough to get the plane off the runway. But I would say one of the biggest keys to our success was to your compliment. We are what you see is what you get. We are transparent and we are authentic. I'm identical in my real life as I am on camera. I'm always the same person, and you can't be fake. The algorithm cannot be fooled, and I think what people like about us is we are completely real. And it's like this. Just there's not a fake, scripted, inauthentic bone in any of our bodies, and I really feel that resonates well. So like when people ask me advice, I say just be yourself. Don't try to be Vegas mad. Don't try to be some other influencer. Be you.
Yeah.
Who are you, and then you'll
Your
find
audience will find you.
Your audience.
These platforms are so good. Like they'll find people who resonate with what you're putting out, and authenticity I think is the most important thing on social media right now. But to your point where you said people will come up to us in the casino, they're, I feel like I know you guys, and my response will always be you do.
Yeah.
Because they do know us. We're not performing for a camera, we're just gambling and having fun, and they see it and they learn who we are.
Yeah, you guys came up with the right recipe, and the recipe is good. I think in the beginning when I didn't like some of the influencers, it was that you could use somebody, let's use Floyd Mayweather, who all he would ever do is tweet out his winning bets. I mean, he would make these gigantic bets. He would tweet out winners only. You never saw his losers, and that wasn't doing anybody any good. And I sort of saw this in the industry to some degree.
That was the first slot influencers that mainly was just like, look at these jackpots. And then I guess, if you were going to try to make a case for them, be like, well, we thought that's what would be most appealing, but I think it's unrealistic, to say, oh, look, you just push the button a couple times and you get a jackpot. Isn't that easy?
Just in a matter of moments.
Just in a matter of moments.
What?
Yeah,
No.
That happened just in a matter of moments.
Come gamble with me because I have the magic formula for picking out a machine. I mean, there's never been more nonsense in the history of mankind.
Well, the truth is, though, if you were going to post 2 videos and only 2 videos, and you posted a losing video and a winning video, the winning video will do better, guaranteed.
We have evidence of that today and yesterday.
That's
It will do
interesting.
better.
Yeah.
So if you're only going to post one, post your winner. But I don't know that you can build an audience and build a channel and build a relationship with your
Trust,
community.
The trust,
But by far, winners perform better.
Fascinating.
And I
mean,
like winning
interesting.
way more. Like when we have a big hand, I think our biggest hand of baccarat we ever did was $40,000.
Wow.
And we won, and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
I think the video did well. Had we lost, it would not have been wonderful. And I would. And it's like, what do you say to the camera after that? You go like, well, crap.
Yeah.
But we still post them all.
Yeah.
Whether win or lose.
Well, about a year ago, you guys did a video where you're playing Regal Riches, and I just rewatched it again. It's about an hour long, and boy, it's just such a wild ride. You lose. I think you go down about $300,000 in one session, and then you have a massive win.
310, but who's counting?
310, but who's counting, right?
Yeah.
But then you get it back, right? You
No.
win
Was that at the
$130,000.
No, that was another video.
Was that the
on
one
that-
at the Cosmopolitan?
Yeah,
so-
the Cosmo, we were in 310. We won 170 when we finally hit the green.
Didn't win. Got back.
We got back 170. We were down 140. A couple
Yikes.
weeks later,
Yeah.
that was $1,125 a spin. So we put God only knows how much through that machine. And then we did another one with $750 a spin. And on that one, we had a better result. We were in whatever we were in.
We were in like 100, I think.
Yeah, we wound up.
No,
we wound up winning 130.
130. So we lost 140 and we won 130 on those two videos, two of our biggest videos ever. Because people literally think you're insane to sit there for an hour pushing a button at 1120.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. I would not recommend it. But we literally put 1125 about every 3 seconds, $1,125 to the point where we were down 310,000, and we just kept going.
Only had to go get money
twice.
Twice.
But that's part of the exciting part of the video when you guys go, oh, we need to go get another $10,000 ticket, and then
Yeah.
you put it in. It's and
Or
then the
someone had to
10,000
go to-
goes so fast.
Yeah.
Someone has to go to the bank and get
nuts.
more money, or I mean,
Yeah, that would took a lot of resources.
it was. I mean, yeah, that's a lot. That was an exciting video. I think that's certainly our highest viewed video ever, right?
Actually, I think the winning the 130,000 winner after that might have passed it.
Oh, really?
They're very close.
Well, I want to tell our audience to go watch this video because it's engaging. I mean, you can watch
They're
it, you
both
get to
fun.
know you guys.
Can you
it's
put a
an
link in the
hour-long.
description?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put a
Oh,
link.
absolutely.
Yeah. We'll put a link.
Send
in
those
the-
two to you, and you can watch the winner and the loser.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, good.
All right, guys. So I was at G2E recently, and I was walking around, and I go to the Gaming Arts booth, and I see the Brian Christopher slot machine,
Yeah.
and I say to myself, "Is there a Vegas Matt slot machine in the works? Is it going to happen? Are you going to hook up with Every and make one, or what's happening?"
I don't know. I think if there's a smart, game manufacturer out there, they should definitely do that, because I think the game would be the best.
Yeah.
And it would be the funniest, and we have some good ideas for it. But I don't know how
You
that.
should tell your hologram idea.
Yeah, well, I have
I
this.
was going to say they could email us at info@vegasmat.com. And
Hello, IGT. Hello.
I mean, whoever wants to have the most popular slot machine in the entire history of casinos, that'd be a good idea.
Cool.
But I have this thing where, like,
Subtle.
sometimes I'll do my humility knows no bounds. Where if I win something really big, I'll do like a victory lap around the machines or whatever. And so I had an idea, would do like a Vegas Matt hologram, and if you hit like a really big bonus, then the hologram Vegas Matt comes out and does a victory lap around the machine.
Oh, boy.
We've got ideas, like on one of our sayings on one of our shirts is, you sure get 5 a lot, because on like Dragon Link's probably the most popular game, and you need 6 fireballs to get the bonus, and it just seems like you get 5 all the time.
Yep.
So like on my game, there's going to be a meter, a 5 a lot meter, and every time you get 5, it boosts that meter, and then randomly one time when you get 5, it gives you the 6th. And there's plenty of ideas for a game. I think it would be a lot of fun. We've got on FanDuel Casino, we've got a Vegas Matt Blackjack.
Okay.
So I'm like, hit that thing, It's like, oh,
Hit that
double
20.
up,
Yeah.
idiot, and so. But that is, a lot of that lingo, like WBG, will try to sometimes calm us down. We get a good bonus, and he's like, all right, let's enjoy this. And then that caught on, and we have a whole line now of like, let's enjoy this merch. And our audience knows all our sayings. Like, I'm wearing a Sando shirt, right? So Sando evolved from, I was watching Narcos one time, and this guy was talking, like, I think a Mexican drug cartel guy was talking, and he says, look, I checked out your operation in Bogota, and it's a total shit sandwich. And I just thought that was the most descriptive term. And so, like, we'll get the long-awaited 3 flags, we'll get the bonus, we'll get the free games, 6 free games, and then we'll get it, and we'll get, like, on a $50 bet, we'll win, like, $40. And I'm like, oh, that is a shit sandwich. And I kept saying that, and then EJ is sensitive to bad language and inappropriate things, so he edits out a lot of what I say. And so instead of saying shit sandwich, I just abbreviated it down to Sando.
Sando.
And it's a Sando, and that really stuck. And so sure get 5 a lot, Sando, let's enjoy this. Now we have the get even or get even worse. And we have like just hundreds and hundreds of these orders going out every week.
Sando is now on Wikipedia and in the Urban Dictionary.
Yeah.
Well, I was told.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
told by one of our employees here that Sando in Japanese means sandwich.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've heard that also. People tell us that. It has like 20 definitions. I wanted to ask you, so at G2E, did you get to play the Brian Christopher machine? It looks pretty cool. I think it's World Cruise.
You know what? No, I didn't play the one that was at G2E. I've played the
original one, yeah.
That was
Papa
released.
Morphe's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's really. I mean, he's a great business person. I mean, he certainly blazed the trail, and he has all the good deals. Like I can say, I don't understand how there's not a Vegas Mat slot machine yet, but I know there will be.
I'm sure there will be. I remember in 2017 there was a big talk within the gaming community of these influencers are coming into the casinos and they're filming, which was very taboo. Even in 2017, you had a lot of casinos saying, you're allowed to shoot, you're not allowed to shoot,
Right.
And for the most part, it took guys like Brian Christopher and Raja to go in there and, kind of force the casinos to let you film.
Our hats off to both of them.
I mean, yeah, great job.
Raj has been a good friend.
Yeah, we've been told to leave casinos even as early as 2021, 2022. When
I'm short-sighted, huh?
When we were, they just
Short-sighted.
some security guy comes up and says you can't film, and then we have permission, and then he's like, I can't prove it, and then we have a little exchange, and next thing you know, it's like, you're trespassed, and I'm like, and then
Gee, that sounds
remember
familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah, that was funny.
That was funny.
I hated that guy.
That only lasted about 8 hours, but
Yeah.
Well, I said short-sighted. I mean, now.
no, they realized that they had made the mistake.
Oh, okay.
Well, what are your favorite casinos to film in?
The ones that appreciate us.
Okay.
I
All
mean,
right. Take note.
I mean, we make, because with my counseling from my level-headed partners, I never am ever going to say, this casino sucks. Like I didn't say the name of the casino that trespassed us. I love all casinos. People go to work at one casino and they may end up at another casino, and we try to have phenomenal relationships with all of them. But we do choose to film at places that make it easy for us to film. They, if they turn the music down for us, so we don't have to copyright or have EJ have to go in with AI and re-edit everything. It's a pain for him. Do they pay our hand pays quickly, or do they have self-pay? Are they generous with offers to us? Do they have a suite that they'll give us access to? I mean, we like to film where they appreciate us. I think that's evolving to the point where some casinos will host events that we do, and we'll have 1,000, 1,500 people show up at an event, and they're starting to realize that that's a lot of money coming through the door. And I think eventually that money will start being shared more fairly. There's even casinos that we play at all the time that keep really good track of their new players, and we film there on a regular basis, and 28% of their new players come as a direct result of knowing that we film there. And I'm sure other casinos will start to understand this better, and we'll probably eventually have our favorites that we play at, and we don't play at others, and those casinos will do quite well.
I've talked to a few casino executives who told me.
Well done, sir.
And I've talked to casino executives who told me it's the best advertising they've ever done.
For sure. And you deal a lot.
And I mean cost effective and everything.
Well, customers, they don't pay anything, and but that's going to change.
It ought to.
Oh, it will.
Cool. All right, real quick. We're getting toward the end here. Ideas for influencing in other areas. I know you've played some blackjack. Interestingly, you don't do any video poker hardly, if any at all. It's been all slots.
On
Looking at
live
blackjack
streams, we'll
with-
play video poker.
What,
On live streams, we'll play
Oh,
video
is that true?
poker.
And occasionally on our videos, we do.
Occasionally.
Yeah, but we love Ultimate X, and our viewers love
everybody
Ultimate
does.
X, and we call it the crack of
It's the
video
best, the
poker.
best video poker game.
Yeah.
EJ just doesn't think it is as engaging, and a lot of people tune out, and he looks at the metrics and whatnot. But we love to play it. We don't play it as often as I'd like to,
Well, you also play at a really fast speed, and it's hard to.
and I play it off camera a lot. And what was the rest of the question?
No, just like you're going to get into, blackjack is a big question. I mean, I see you go to a blackjack table, and there are some blackjack players out there. Obviously, blackjack is my main discipline.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so I watch them play, and they're moderately skilled, and don't try to oversell it or anything. I was just wondering if blackjack was in your future.
I mean, we stream blackjack sometimes. We play a lot of get even or get even worse hands. You know, we don't do long sessions of blackjack. The other day
One hand is not a very long session.
Well, the other day we were down 7,500, I think, or down 5,000. We took 2,500, and we bet 1,000 on the first hand, and back and forth, ran it up and turned it into 10,000 in a matter of a few minutes, and so maybe 10, 15 hands, and then we say, okay, we got money now, let's go play slots again. So it's kind of like we bounce around, and we do document that, and we love baccarat. That's fun. We always bet banker. People are always like, why do you always bet banker? It's like, we just do.
Banker always wins.
Well,
Dan. That's why.
it's also infinitesimally better. It's long term. You will do slightly better if you only bet banker.
Yeah. Well, it's just, it's interesting. It's like, I think one of the reasons you guys have done so well is that you have gamble in you.
Yeah.
You know how many times I've been told WBG will appreciate this?
Yeah.
I've been told, like by Blair Rodman, who is
Sure.
a World Series of Poker gold bracelet winner, one of my best
I'm
friends.
acquainted.
We did his book, right? He said, "You'll never be a great poker player because you got no gamble." That's what he tells me.
Yeah,
I go,
you have
I don't
to.
want to have gamble, man. I want to be black and white,
Yeah.
But you got gamble, and I think that comes through, and it melds with all the things you're doing.
Yeah.
And it becomes very, very impressive when you realize that there's a whole business attached to it. From my point of view.
With WBG, I know for a fact, if right now you said, I'm in the mood to gamble, I'll give you 51 to 49 instead of 50-50 on a coin flip, and he had 51.
Oh, you're in.
I guarantee you, Anthony would do that as well.
Oh, I'm in all day.
Yeah,
Oh, for sure.
But I mean, he would put
We're not going to have any action here.
he would put 50 grand on the table without batting an eyelash, because he's got the better of it, and then if he lost, he wouldn't even be phased in the least.
No.
There's nobody like WBG that I've ever met in my life.
You know what? There's. I got a good buddy, Frank B. from the sports
Sure.
betting world. He goes, there's two columns. He goes, there's your result and there's your expected value. And it goes, your result is not near as important as your expected value because your
course.
result will follow the expected value.
Yeah, long term.
Yeah. So, okay, a couple quickies, then we'll let you go.
Sure.
Answer them as you prefer, as you like. I mean, we've heard a little bit of this already. Do you have a favorite show of yours
Favorite
that you
video?
did that everybody should absolutely see? Do you have one that you would
Oh,
recommend?
a favorite episode?
Episode, yeah.
favorite episode
Yeah, I don't
on
mean
your
you like
channel.
I Love Lucy or anything like that. I mean,
I
Great
think-
show, I Love
I think
Lucy.
the one that we're going to give you the link for.
Okay.
How we won 130,000, got even for the week or whatever. I think that's one of the best ones.
cool. All right.
I mean, what about you, EJ?
There are so many different fun moments throughout every video. I'm sure there are big laughs in videos that we don't even remember, or big wins in videos we don't. They're all fun. Except for the ones where we really get wrecked.
The
Those
one we
aren't so
did
fun.
last night that's coming out in a couple of days is very funny.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If you go to, like, say, TikTok and you look at the top, the pinned posts, like gambling with some of the bigger name people, particularly like Gronk is on there. That he was a lot of fun. I mean, we couldn't lose when we played with Gronk, so
that
that's
was great.
that's a fun video. There have been so many, but I mean, I would just. They're all, if you watch, we have people all the time who start watching, they watch one, and then they just say they go and they watch every episode. It's amazing. We still get tons of views on our older videos because as we get new audience, they all go back, and it's an end now.
They're all
almost,
tied together, right? It's a storyline, so it becomes a natural thing to watch every day.
They can binge watch.
Yeah.
Right? They'll binge watch it.
And we have a playlist on our YouTube channel where you can watch from the beginning.
Cool.
So what's your favorite gambling book?
I was going to ask you that next.
Well, I'm asking you.
My favorite gambling book was has to be the one I did with my dad, which was the Art of Gambling, which is I'll give you guys copies before you leave.
Okay.
And my father did it's masterpieces throughout the ages from gamblers, and I co-authored it with him, and I wrote I explained the gambling scene, and he found the things.
Sounds like Munchkin's book a little bit.
Yeah,
Gambling Wizards, or-
yeah, Gambling Wizards, yeah, but this one's full of it's a photo book. It's a coffee table book.
Oh, very cool.
So that's my favorite. But I mean, of all these other, I've published so many. There's a lot of children, you can't really have a favorite child. What about you guys? Favorite gambling book? We ask everybody. Doesn't have to be one of ours. Is there one that you just remember?
he's probably the only one who reads.
My all-time favorite gambling book is Getting the Best of It by David Sklansky.
It's a great book.
It's a great book. It just taught me so much about gambling and how expected value means so much
Yeah.
in gambling and in life.
Great book.
Yeah, great book.
Absolutely. You guys?
I like that movie. I mean, I'm more of an audio book or a movie guy. Like, I got such ADD. I try to read a book and I get about 2 sentences in and I start thinking about something else and looking at my phone. But I like that one where that was it not Vince McMahon, but the guy, the poker guy with the long hair, like, and he walked. He bet someone he couldn't walk from LA to Vegas.
You're talking about Huckleberry Huck Seed.
Oh, Huxley.
His book?
No, the poker guy. That's like the guy, the WPT commentator. We played
Vince.
Yeah.
Vince Van Patten.
Vince Van Patten, not Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Vince Van Patten. He walks from LA on a bet that he can walk from LA to Vegas, and I don't know. That was
I don't
great.
know.
They made a
movie about it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That I just found fascinating. And then I have all like these books on my bookshelf, like, how to play craps, winning, this, that, and the other thing. And I actually did read the How to Play Craps book, and I remember the strategy that they taught. Like your pass line, max odds, come bet, max odds, come bet, max odds. Like, sorry, I'm tapping. Showing how to maximize the game of craps. I personally don't like craps because this is how it works for me. I get a bunch of points established, and then a 7 comes, and I lose everything every single time.
That's how it
I
works.
never win at craps.
EJ, did you read?
I've read in the past, not gambling books.
What's
though.
that?
What's the book that
You
you
have
mentioned?
read.
Atomic Habits was a good book I read right before we started doing all of this, and I think a lot of those disciplines helped us succeed. And I mean, you talked early on about like something that how we've done what we've done. We all have, or these guys both have incredible work ethics, and I mean we work nonstop, and I've learned a lot from them. So that would be something that I would say.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like if we're awake, we're working.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Somebody told me about a book about discipline. It was called Make Your Bed.
Oh yeah.
I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to find
I
it.
think that's is that I don't know. I've heard of this book.
I saw the TikTok on it or whatever. But
It's
yeah.
I mean, I've said this to you guys privately. I mean, just the fact that you guys can do a video a day, that speaks to your work ethic. And I mean, if you're going to teach anybody out there how do you succeed with millions of people trying to do what you're doing, you just got to work hard, man.
Yeah.
You got to work hard.
My dad used to say the best way to kill time is to work it to death.
Yeah, it's nice.
I love those things. You have so many of those things.
My dad used to say.
Two more quickies.
Wait, you know what? If we're not in a rush, I want to say one thing. Because we didn't get to my favorite gambling book, and I do have to give a shout out to Michael Shackelford, who's one of Anthony's authors. And the best part about Gambling 102
I knew
is that
it.
you don't have
I knew
to
that
read
was
it.
the book.
Oh well,
Yeah.
it's a book like no other gambling book I've seen.
he's the
because
best.
it's got a whole chapter on advantage play, and you don't even have to read it. It's got pictures of what to look for. So maybe you'll get a copy of that too. But that's a good one.
Mike has made myself and many other people who I know a fortune. He's done the world a lot of good.
This will make you feel good. He's working on 2 more books for us.
Yeah, he's one of my. He's an idol of mine. I at one time I sent him an email, said I'll work for you for free.
Really?
Yeah. I have a lot of respect for him.
Not to mention he can unicycle and juggle at the same time.
Yeah, and he hikes.
He's a showman.
This was pretty good.
Yeah. All right.
People are going to ask. They asked me to ask. This is a square one, right? But do you have a favorite slot game? You don't have to say, you don't have to tell us your favorite casino, but do you have a game that you just dig? That if you just wanted to play one game, you're on a desert island, man, and you got one slot. Is there something you love? Like he'd be
several. I mean,
Ultimate X,
I love playing $1 Million Dragon Link. I'm committed. One of these days, I'm going to get the million. The minimum you can bet is $25. That's too small for us to bet while we're filming. So I always do that in my spare time. Like if I have an extra $500 burning a hole in my pocket, I'll pop it in $1 Million Dragon Link. Fire $25. I love playing Buffalo Link. One of those games you're never out of it. And then my new favorite game these days is a game called Grand Legends.
best.
And this game, I'm telling you,
It's
the
the
bonus
best bonus.
frequency is amazing. The bonus can be incredible. It almost seems to me like we win too much on it, knock on wood. I love this game, Grand Legends. We just recently started playing it like a month or two ago.
Yeah.
And when it launched, we were there for the launch of that game, and we just do really well on it, and it's a lot of fun. But there's so many.
He'll be on it tonight.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. That's
Huff and
something-
Puff, Regal Riches.
I don't
Huff
like
and
Huff and Puff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
You guys
Stop.
are influencing young Andrew here.
I only play Regal Riches because of that first video.
Yeah, Regal Riches is
And,
great. It's a great game. It has a great kind of storyline built into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I like about it.
Yeah, and now I go around and I look at all the
Ultimate X.
denoms and I look to see if there's
Yeah.
any Regal Riches where it's like 7 or 8, like in that blue diamond.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, one more question, and all three of you got to answer it. Restaurant recommendation. If you just said, look, here's where you got to go. This is my favorite. Or you know what? It can be a coffee shop. It can be a steakhouse. I don't know. Do you have one or two or three? But I mean, where would you go?
I would go to Crossroads at Resorts World. Crossroads.
That's the
Kitchen.
vegetarian place,
It
right?
is indeed. Yeah, they do an excellent job.
WBG is also WBV, world's biggest vegan.
Hey.
And he's been, how long you been vegan for?
Since June 1st, 2011.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Approximately.
He doesn't come near anything. Like, I mean, he doesn't even wear leather shoes. I mean, this dude is as vegan as a vegan can be. And Crossroads is like gourmet vegan, right?
Yeah, they just do. I mean, it's a great restaurant. I would give it a shot.
So that's
What
the
about that
answer.
place that has the good vegan burgers? Is that still around?
That's the place at the Win, right?
Well, the Win used to have.
Oh, Charlie's.
Really good
Yeah,
ones,
I
but
don't know that they have.
No,
they
but there was
probably
one
still
that
do.
was like off strip. It was like, it tasted like an In-N-Out burger.
That
vegan.
was Chef Kenny. He had that restaurant. It's not there anymore, but he does have a dim sum restaurant on Flamingo. Chef Kenny's Vegan Dim Sum.
He does.
Yeah.
Another great spot.
What about you, EJ? I know what you like.
What do I like?
Well, that one place you went for Michael's birthday.
Yeah, Din Tai Fung I like
Oh, yeah.
dim sum. I like Din Tai Fung a lot.
Everybody
That's,
talks
Aria,
about
right?
that. Yeah.
Aria, yeah.
Yeah.
I just went there 2 nights ago, I think. Yeah.
I almost went there a little while ago, and for some reason I veered off. I'll give it a go.
He just likes it because the abbreviation is DTF.
That's hilarious.
I don't get it.
Yeah, and then is there any other restaurants, EJ, that you like? You don't really
A
like
local
long.
Mexican spot I like is Lindo Michoacan.
Oh, it's great.
So good. I love the chips and the beans and salsa they bring.
I love that place. I
Ensalada
agree.
marinara, I get that a lot. It's good. It's
How
really
about
good.
Big Mike's place?
Houston's Hot Chicken. Yes, my friend works at Houston's Hot Chicken, which is a
real-
franchise
it's-
in Vegas.
And they do have
They have a really good chicken
That's on
sandwich.
Sahara, right?
they have
There is
several
one on
locations.
Sahara, yeah.
Okay.
Houston's is great.
Big Mike's gonna be happy about that. Thank you. Yeah.
Props, Big Mike.
Yeah.
And then like one of the things I've always been just like such an average, regular middle class. I come from a middle class family, and like. So I like the fancy stuff. EJ and Robert are not big on like long fancy dinners. I love it. You know, like someone gave me a bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild. You know, like for my birthday, and you know, like last night went to my neighbor's house for dinner and drank like this $1,000 bottle of wine.
Cool.
I just love stuff like that. So in Vegas, there is arguably one restaurant that is the best restaurant, and it's Joel Robuchon at MGM. Joel Robuchon was chef of the Millennium. I mean, it's a Michelin star dining experience. 15 courses. My favorite thing, paired with like 15 wines over 15 hours.
I don't even think I would go if
Yeah, I
I
wouldn't
had an
go.
extra seat. I wouldn't go.
Yeah, and like I've been there with people who like won't eat any of it, but like the presentation and the place settings and the service and the ambiance. If you like fancy continental cuisine, fine dining, Joel Robuchon is not only like the best in Vegas, it's one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
And I think I should get royalties for giving that commercial right there. A friend of mine used to be the chef. He's now left. Joel Robuchon died. But it's just a phenomenal restaurant. That and I think Guy Savoy at Caesars are the only ones that are in that category. And then I always give a shout out. Like this morning, I had breakfast. Whenever I have a breakfast meeting, I have someone in town. I don't want to drive all the way to the Strip. I don't want to make them drive all the way up to my house. So we meet at 2:15 in Eastern. And right behind the LVAC and the Starbucks, there's a little restaurant called the Original Sunrise Cafe. And again, I don't own it. I don't have any dog in this fight, but that's where I go to breakfast. I'm gonna go out to breakfast. They have the most amazing service. They're quick. They got great coffee. It's everything about it is good. It's a good family-run place. Been there for 20 plus years. So
Cool.
so on the one spectrum, it's kind of like just an omelet breakfast place that's awesome, and then the best restaurant in the world. It's up there with like French Laundry and Napa and
Wow.
stuff. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go try it then. That'll be a Las Vegas Advisor review. Vegas Matt says.
Can I come
Yeah.
with you?
Sure,
It's only like
absolutely.
Joe,
500
which
a
one?
head or
Sunrise
1,000 a head,
Cafe?
depending on which wine pairing you go with.
I'm talking about the breakfast place.
Oh, the breakfast place.
You out of your mind?
I've been accused.
All right, Andrew.
I think that's it, guys. I think we covered everything. First of all, I want to thank you guys for coming down and spending time with us.
Thank you.
And
Thank
it's
you.
always a hoot to see you guys in the casino playing, which everybody should know. You know, sometimes you just walk through the casino, go into the high limit room. You never know where you're going to find Vegas Matt and crew.
That's
Okay,
right.
Anthony, you're a legend. I've followed your career for forever, and I'm happy that you invited us in.
Is that how we got you here?
Is that how?
I said, is that how we got you here?
No, but I mean, I've like I said, I've followed your business and your career over the years, and I'm
Thank you. Well,
He
you
was
guys,
very
my
excited
pleasure.
about coming on this, and
Yeah.
it's always fun. And thanks for taking the time.
well, you guys were very gracious. I remember, I think it was, we were doing probably a Beer Friday, and someone said, you should get Vegas Matt. And it might have been you that came out
I
and said,
saw.
he'll do it.
I saw the comment. I saw the comment on the. Somebody said that you mentioned Vegas Matt. I think Train probably sent me the clip because he never misses anything. He sent me the clip, so I watched it and I put a comment on the YouTube channel and we started a discussion and led to this. So
Yeah.
I'm happy about that.
Thanks, guys. Continued success with what you're doing. It's extremely impressive. And you're giving a good name to this part of the industry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.